Hello, all you adorable fluff butts out there. Kitthesoulless here, and today I want to talk about something a little more positive, and that's my philosophy on things like civility and why they're important. So, a lot of you might know that one of the requirements for conversing with me or spending time with me is civility. And I apologize for the shaky camera, but the place I'm recording isn't exactly a small world. So, I figured I'd try out something a little new. So, for those of you who know me, you'll know one of my, social requirements is civility. And the reason for this is, I got tired of people just randomly being assholes a long time ago. And this doesn't mean that, you always have to agree with me, or you have to, always accept what I say as gospel. I actually welcome people who will question and challenge me. But the thing that's important is how they do it. A good example is, if somebody comes at me just randomly, yelling at me, telling me I'm a monster, accusing me of things, I'm not going to want to talk to that person. And honestly, I think that's kind of, normal. Most people don't want to sit and converse with people who are going to, antagonize them. Because basically, when somebody comes at me just being an ass for no reason, I tend to ignore them, or at very least I try to. And people have seen this, I guess, in recent years, with things like my comments section on YouTube. I've had a lot of people bitch at me for deleting comments, but the thing is, the comments I've been deleting are things like, oh, you should commit necrope, or I hope your family dies in a fucking fire. Things like that. Or people who are just shouting into the void, being a dick, and not wanting to hear anybody else. Communication is very much a two-way street, and if you're not willing to listen to the other person when they speak, why should they listen to you when you are yelling at them? When it comes right down to it, people that, take the approach of be combative, be antagonistic, and don't let the other person speak because they don't deserve it, people like that aren't really going to get anything done. They aren't going to change somebody's mind if they have a bad opinion. They aren't going to convince anyone that they're right, even if they believe they are. Because, realistically, even if you're right, nobody's gonna care if you're being a dick. Another thing is, for those people that don't understand this concept and decide to take the approach of, well, I'm gonna yell at this person because I disagree with them, or I'm going to treat this person like they're less than human because I don't like their opinion. If you take that approach, all you're doing is causing the other person to shut down. People don't get it, but civility is a requirement for any society. For us to coexist as people, we have to be, at very least, civil to one another, if not kind. And I know, it's not always the easiest thing to do. Trust me, I've had to deal with people who were, beyond annoying to me, who I just wanted to tell, go fuck yourself! But at the same time, I don't want to do that. And now, I know you guys have probably been saying, well, you've done that yourself. Everyone has. But the thing is, I try not to unless the other person is being antagonistic. If they're actively trying to rile me up, or trying to anger me, or trying to hurt me, I'm not gonna listen to what they're saying. The whole cancel culture approach of, beat them down until they submit, beat them down and don't give them any chance to speak, any chance to spread what you disagree with, that doesn't work. It never has, and I don't think it ever will. It's not how you change somebody's mind or opinion. It certainly isn't how you're supposed to deal with people in the real world. And a lot of people are gonna say, but, well, civility doesn't get you anywhere either. And that's, I guess, where the next little bit of this comes in, because I want to tell you guys a story. And it's, I guess you could say it's one of the stories that changed my life. But you see, a long time ago, I was in a relationship with this guy who went by Niles R. Connor. And he was a nice guy, don't get me wrong, when he wanted to be. Me and him had been together for 3 years, and I thought things had been going well. Until I found out that he had been cheating on me for at least one of those 3 years. So, I did what I thought I should have, and I went to go confront the man he was cheating on me with. Now, I could have been an asshole. I could have, freaked out and told him, I'm with this person. Go fuck off. They're mine. I could have been an asshole like that. But honestly, I'm really glad I didn't. See, the person that Niles had been cheating on me with, his name is Avia. And, well, we got to talking when I first confronted him. I wanted to yell, I wanted to scream, I wanted to cuss him out, I wanted to do everything under the sun to get it through to him that I was in pain. That he was involved with somebody that I was with at the time. But when I started talking to him, for one, he was just too nice. I couldn't yell at him because even when I tried, he didn't yell back. Even though I was trying to make him feel like a lesser person at first, because of the situation, he never did the same to me. And I realized that I couldn't either if I wanted to, understand. So we got to talking. We got to know each other a little bit, and I asked him flat out if he knew that Niles was with someone else, and he'd said no. He'd been lied to. He had been lied to for over a year. He had no idea that he was the other guy. He had no idea that the person he was with wasn't faithful. At least, not at first. He figured it out pretty easily after I showed up, but... well, we got to talking, and we became friends, and... I'll admit I was an asshole at first. I'm glad he wasn't. Because him and I have been together for over 15 years now. He's been my reason for getting up in the morning for so long. And honestly, I don't think I could even begin to imagine my life without him. And I don't know, I guess in meeting him, that's kind of when I adopted this philosophy of mine. If things had gone different and he had been like me, I don't think we ever would have stayed friends. I don't think we ever would have gotten together. And honestly, I can't imagine my life if that had been the case. I probably wouldn't be here. And I know I'm getting sappy, and it's a thing, I guess. We could have been at each other's throats. We could have been the type of people to yell and to scream at each other. But instead, because he decided to stay civil with me, it taught me that sometimes you can't act like that. Sometimes you can't just be an asshole and expect for it to work. And Avia, I know you're probably watching this, so I want to take a moment to tell you that I love you now just as much as I did back then, if not more. And that's never gonna change. It's why I offered my life to you when I proposed. It's not something I take lightly. So, no matter how hard life gets, or how dark things seem, know that I will always love you. No matter what. And yes, I know I'm being sappy. But you know what? That's okay. Honestly, the majority of the people I know, the majority of the people that I care about, are the ones that were willing to talk to me like I was a person, rather than treating me like just another moron who would never be able to understand your point of view. And for that I thank you all. Now, I won't say I'm perfect. I can be an asshole just as much as the next guy. But I try not to be. I have a legitimate reason for believing the things that I believe. And thinking the way that I do. But there's a lot of people out there that just don't care. I am willing to have conversations on topics that most people aren't willing to. Because I legitimately want to understand. But I can't learn anything. I can't understand anything if all I'm hearing is people screaming at me, without giving me the chance to speak for myself. A lot of people have done things like putting words in my mouth, or assuming the meaning of what I'm saying, without understanding what I'm saying. And I really wish that weren't the case, but I don't know. I honestly think civility is something that the world needs more of, especially now. With the way that everything has been happening, with the way that everyone has been treating each other. We need to, as a people, take a step back and reevaluate everything. Because all we're doing now is screaming at each other without ever listening to each other. And that's not going to accomplish anything. So, honestly, if you're willing to be civil and come have a conversation with me, rather than yell at me or dehumanize me, come on over. Right over here. Come sit with me by the fire and learn my side of things. And try to teach me yours. Anyways, I guess that's it for this one. Sorry if it was a little short, but I don't know. Anyways, ta-ta everybody. Mlem.